Emptiness and the stages of spiritual attainment. The Buddha asked, Subhuti, what do you think? Does a Sotapanna stream enter a think? I have attained the fruit of Sotapanna. Subhuti replied, No, Bhagavan. Why? Because a Sotapanna is only a name. In reality, he has not entered anything. He has not entered into form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or mental objects. Therefore, he is called a Sotapanna. The Buddha continued, Subhuti, what do you think? Does a Sakadagami once returner think, I have attained the fruit of Sakadagami? Subhuti replied, No, Bhagavan. Why? Because a Sakadagami is only a name. In reality, he has no thought of coming or going. Therefore, he is merely called a Sakadagami. The Buddha then asked, Subhuti, what do you think? Does an Anagami non-returner think, I have attained the fruit of Anagami? Subhuti replied, No, Bhagavan. Why? Because an Anagami is only a name. In reality, he has no thought of not returning. Therefore, he is merely called an Anagami. The Buddha further asked, Subhuti, what do you think? Does an Arahant fully enlightened one think, I have attained the path of Arahantship? Subhuti replied, No, Bhagavan. Why? Because there is no ultimate reality to be called an attainment. Therefore, he is merely called an Arahant. Bhagavan, if an Arahant were to think, I have attained Arahantship, then that would mean he is still attached to the notions of self-Atman, person Pujala, sentient being Sattva, and lifespan Jiva. Bhagavan, the Buddha has declared that I am the foremost among those who have attained the meditative absorption of non-contention, and that I am the foremost among Arahants who have abandoned all craving raga. Yet, I do not have the thought, I am an Arahant free from craving. Bhagavan, if I had the thought, I have attained Arahantship, then the Tathagata would not have said, Subhuti delights in the practice of solitude Anya. But in truth, since I have no thought of practicing solitude, the Tathagata has simply described me as one who delights in solitude. 1. The meaning of non-duality and emptiness. The notion of oneness refers to the dissolution of all conceptual forms, leading to the realization of emptiness sunyata. However, even this emptiness does not refer to an actual state or form. Emptiness is not something separate or isolated, nor does it have a shape or inherent existence. To say that everything becomes one does not mean that there is a fixed, unified state. Rather, it refers to a state of single-minded absorption, ekagrata, where duality disappears. Terms like non-duality, non-differentiation, absence of form, and emptiness all share the same fundamental meaning. A Zen master once said, everything returns to the one. To this, Master Jiaozhou asked, then where does that one return? This question points beyond conceptual thinking, beyond even the arising of the universe toward the realization of non-self and emptiness. It is the same principle found in Nagarjuna's Madhyamika, which teaches that ultimate reality is neither one nor two. 2. The 4 stages of attainment in the path of liberation. In the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Turning of the Wheel of Dharma, the Buddha described 4 stages of spiritual attainment. Sotapanna stream enterer, Sakadagami once returner, Anagami, non-returner, and Arahant fully enlightened one. However, in the Diamond Sutra Vajrachedika, Prajnaparamita Sutra, these 4 stages are explained from the perspective of emptiness sunyata. 1. Sotapanna stream enterer, entering the stream. In southern Buddhism Theravada traditions of Thailand, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka, a child at the age of 6 or the 7th of May take novice ordination, Samanera precepts and study for 15 years before receiving full bhikkhu ordination upasampada at the age of 20. At this point, the practitioner begins deep samatha vipassana, concentration and insight meditation, marking the entry into the Sotapanna stage. The Sotapanna is one who has entered the path to enlightenment. By abandoning attachment to sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and thoughts Rupa, Sabda, Gandha, Rasa, Sparsa, and Dharma. They begin to see through the illusory nature of these sense objects, and are no longer deceived by appearances. At this stage, greed, hatred, and delusion, lobha, dosa, moha are not yet completely abandoned. But the Sotapanna realizes their impermanent nature and begins to detach from them. Two Sakadagami once returner know true coming or going. A Sakadagami may appear to come and go, but in truth, there is no real coming or going. A thought may arise, but it vanishes quickly, therefore, there is no actual movement. Imagine a mountain covered in autumn leaves. A Sakadagami may think, the autumn leaves are beautiful. I should go see them. And that is the end of it. However, an ordinary being, Pathujana, would continue with endless mental proliferation. Who should I go with? What if they refuse? Should I invite someone else? The ability to observe such mental formations reveals the progress of one's practice, as samatha calm abiding and vipassana insight. Meditation deepen, unnecessary mental habits are naturally eliminated. A Sakadagami may experience defilements kilesa, but they dissipate almost instantly. A realized being sage sees only the present moment. When they witness wrongdoing, they may reprimand it in the moment, but they do not hold on to it or let it linger in their mind. 3 Anagami non-returner no thought of coming or going. An Anagami does not return, but there is no thought of not returning either. Suppose there are autumn leaves on the mountain. The Anagami simply recognizes, it is autumn. They have no thought of going anywhere. Yet they are fully aware of the red and yellow hues of the leaves. Even when witnessing wrongdoing, they do not experience anger, nor does any defilement arise, but they perceive everything clearly. This is not a state of attainment, but rather a state of emptiness. An Anagami has almost completely abandoned worldly attachments and defilements, greed, hatred, and delusion. Their emotions do not waver, and they always maintain equanimity upekkha. For Arahant beyond all attachments. An Arahant has no need for reliance on any teaching or doctrine. They have transcended birth and death, beyond all defilements. They do not cling to gods, wealth, power, or even their own body. If an Arahant were to say, I am an Arahant, then they would still be clinging to self-view, Atmagraha, and concepts such as a person Pujala, a being Sattva, or a soul Jiva. Thus, if someone claims to have attained Arahantship, one should ask them, does an Arahant exist as an entity? True Arahants exist in a state of perfect freedom, beyond birth and death. 3. The illusion of attainment, and the path of letting go. To claim to have entered a particular state of practice is itself an attachment to the sense of self-ahamkara. Both self-atman and dharma-dhamma are empty sunyata. There is no door to enter, and nothing to obtain. The path is not about attaining something but about letting go. If one desires enlightenment, such a desire itself becomes an obstacle. How can one realize emptiness while still holding on to attachment? Enlightenment is not something to gain, but rather the absence of greed, hatred, and delusion. Through deep samatha concentration, one enters into meditative absorption. Jhana, realizing that past perceptions and conditioned behaviors were illusions. This realization is called right mindfulness samasati. Without a deep study of the Buddha's teachings, one may mistake meditation alone for wisdom. But true insight requires both study, pariyatti, and direct realization pativada. 4. True emptiness and the illusion of attainment. The stages of Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahant are not fixed states but stages of letting go. Even the 5 aggregates Panchakhanda are. empty, how much more so external objects. All things arise and cease due to dependent origination. Pratityasamutpada, like illusions or dreams. The entire path of practice is about emptying oneself. Bowing, giving alms, chanting scriptures, and meditation all serve this purpose. If one believes they have attained something, it becomes an attachment to Dharma, clinging Dharmapadana, which is the opposite of true realization. Enlightenment requires no certificate. A true sage does not fall for the illusion of self or external objects. Just as the body is empty, so too are thoughts. One only needs to realize that all mental formations arise falsely and cease falsely.